Greetings to you, lovely students. I welcome you to today's class. In today's class, I'll be taking the topic husbandry of maize. And from today's class, even till the end of the term, we'll be looking at husbandry of different crops. So, about the maize crop is a cereal crop. Cereals are crops that look like grasses, and so maize actually look like grasses. They have long and flat leaves, like you can see in the picture here. Maize is also a monocotyledon crop, and they are mostly grown because of their seeds. Now, maize, because of the way the leaves of maize belongs to family of other crops like the rice, the guinea corn, millet, wheat, barley, oats, rye, and the rest. So maize belongs to the family of these crops. Now, maize is botanically referred to as Z maize. That is ZEAMAYS, Z maize. And it originated from America. It was brought into West Africa as one of the main food crops. And maize usually bear, the maize plant on its own normally bear both the male and the female parts. And maize also belongs to the family Graminae. It belongs to the family Graminae. There are different varieties of maize. We have the flint maize, we have the yellow maize, we have the dent maize, we have white maize, and hybrid maize. Now, under the husbandry requirements of maize, we'll be looking at the method of propagation. We'll be looking at climatic and soil requirement. We'll also be looking at land preparation and planting. It generally refers to how to care and manage maize crop, because maize is a very important crop. So many people depend on the maize as a crop for their consumption, just like the way people depend on cassava in our society. So there are some crops that are heavily dependent on in Nigeria. Or if you go to other countries, you see that they also depend on other crops. So, method of propagating maize is usually propagated majorly with seeds, and that is sexual method of propagation. It is not asexual, but sexual. That is propagating with the seed. Now, climatic and soil requirement. Maize, as it is a sun-loving crop. Even though excess sunlight is not too good for the maize, it can dry up the leaves and they can die off. Now, so maize also requires a temperature of about 10 degrees centigrade and about the maximum of 46 degrees centigrade. So any temperature above 46 degrees centigrade is going to lead to sunburn of the leaf. Now, the annual rainfall requirement of maize is 750 millimeter to 1,500 millimeter per annum. Now, maize also require a very fertile soil. If the soil is not fertile, it is not going to produce well. It may grow, but when it comes to the time of fruiting, it will not fruit well. So maize also requires a loamy soil, a soil that is alkaline, that is always best suited for maize production. Maize will definitely grow on all type of crop, but for soils that are sandy or that are silt, that's SILT, they are silt, and maize will not grow on them. So even if it grows for a while, the maize plant will die off. So next we'll be looking at the land preparation and planting of crop of a maize plant. This is where the major husbandry, this is where it lies, because any mistake made during the land preparation and planting will affect the crop as a whole. Now, if the farmer is making use of forested area, the land will have to first of all be cleared, and then the bush will be set on fire to remove any form of seeds of weeds that could be in the farmland. Now, the land will be first of all plowed. After the clearing of the farmland, it will be plowed. that is mechanically. Then it will be harrowed, that is harrowed. It will be harrowed, that is under mechanized farming. Now if it is an area that is prone to erosion, then there will be need for the farmer to make ridges or mounds or beds in order to plant the maize on it. But if the land is not prone to erosion, then it is not economically good for a farmer to start making ridges or making mounds. Now maize is always best planted during early maize is planted between February and April. That's for early maize. And for late maize, it is always planted during August and September. Now in the north, maize is usually planted in June, because the climate in the north is different from the climate in the south, because rain falls early in the south. So maize is always planted between February and April in the south. Then in the north, maize is usually planted in June of every year. Now manure and fertilizer requirement. Now maize will do well under if the land is well fertilized. Now a farmer can make use of organic manure, which is gotten from horses or poultry or rabbit, or the farmer can make use of inorganic fertilizer, which is mainly NPK. The N there refers to nitrogen, the P there refers to phosphorus, and the K there refers to potassium. Now maize requires NPK 15 15 15. We have different types of NPK. We have NPK 14 6 and 21, but the one majorly for maize is NPK 15 15 15, which means that the nitrogen will be 15%, the phosphorus will be 15%, and the potassium will be 15%. And it is usually applied either in the liquid form to the root, or it is just applied to the root, and then the rain comes and dissolve the inorganic manure by the roots. Now weed management and control, because weed can grow very fast and kill the maize plant, it is very necessary for the farmer to weed his crop at least for the first 5 weeks of planting. You should keep doing weeding so that the weed will not overcome the maize plant. So the weeding can be done either mechanically with the use of mowers, or mainly with the use of hoe or cutlass. Now and then again, if the farmer can also make use of selective herbicide. Now harvesting, processing, and storage. Maize is usually harvested when the silks are dry, and the time of harvesting depends on the farmer. Maize is harvested fresh when the moisture is still in it at 3 months after germination, or the maize can be harvested 4 months after germination. That is if it is dry. If the farmer wants it dry, then the farmer can harvest at 4 months or 5 months after planting. Then the farmer can also make use of combined harvester, just like you see in the video here. There's a machine that harvests and removes the cobs from the stand, and then it is loaded into a trailer or truck that follows the harvester. Now the cob can also be used by after harvesting. There should be either shelling, or the maize can be allowed to further dry in a store. Now the maize should be properly dry before harvesting or placed in the store, or else it will create room for mold to destroy the maize. So maize can be stored in silos, maize can be stored in cribs, maize can be stored in bags, and maize can be processed into many food that is meant for human consumption. Maize can also be used for baby food. Maize can be used to make livestock feed. Maize can also be used. Maize is used to make cornflakes and the rest. So In today's class, I've been able to teach you about the weed control. I told you weed control is usually done in the first 5 weeks of planting, and then the farmer can also make use of selective herbicide when he's clearing his farm. Selective herbicide will only kill the dicotyledon or plants that are not related to grasses. Then although it has its own disadvantage, then the maize also requires manure for it to grow. Manure will serve as the food to the soil, and then the soil gives the maize plant the nutrient in the manure. Thank you very much for watching. I hope I will see you in the next class. I know it has been a wonderful class. I will see you in the next class, in which we'll be treating the topic husbandry of rice. Do have a wonderful time. Bye.